Hello, my loves. I'm sorry if my voice sounds a little raspy right now, but I just went to a concert, so y'all are just gonna have to make do. My voice is annoying anyways, so whatever. But I just wanted to quickly talk about The Woman in Me, Britney's new memoir. I finished reading it today, and let me tell you guys, I was in tears. Like, multiple times throughout the book, I was in tears. This was obviously the most anticipated book of the year. Like, I think it's pretty safe to say that. And she really did a great job. This is an amazing book. I think that this book works really well as an intro course to Britney. She really gives you the general overview of her career, and then she also dives into, obviously, the abuse that she suffered and the story behind the conservatorship and everything that went behind that. So I think that for somebody who might be new to Britney, somebody who's trying to get into her, or someone who isn't necessarily familiar with her story, this is obviously a good way to get into that. It's also a very brisk read. Like, I am not the biggest reader, I will admit that. Like, I read maybe 2 to 4 books a year, and I am not very fast at reading. But when I'm telling you guys, I literally read this book in the span of 2 days, and like, I would say maybe a total of 5 hours. It is a very brisk read. It's very easy. And she even makes a joke in it at the end where she says, I bet you guys who follow me on Instagram were expecting emojis throughout the entire book. I thought that was so cute. But yeah, it's a very easy read. It's much easier to read than her Instagram captions. But again, what I really loved about the book was how she really just guides you through her career. She doesn't spend too much time on any one particular thing, in my opinion. And I will say, I selfishly kind of do wish she delved into a little bit more about the albums. And the thing is, that's not what this book is for. She obviously touches on her albums and her tours and everything, but this is definitely more just about her life, which obviously it should be because we have seen how messed up her life has been. Now, of course, do I wish that she spilled some tea about, like, Britney Jean and the whole Maya Marie thing? Yes, obviously. But again, that is just me selfishly wishing what I want. This was what Britney wanted, and I am just happy that she got these thoughts out into the world and finally gets to share her story on her own terms. So I wanted to just kind of discuss some of the bombshells in it. Obviously, the really, really big one was the abortion that she had with Justin Timberlake's baby. That was a really, really heart-wrenching part to read. I was just so upset about it. I had heard about it before I read the book, and I read some excerpts, but, you know, reading it, it just really, like, tore me apart. She was in so much pain, and that was one thing that we never really knew. I don't think there's even been necessarily rumblings of it. I've never heard rumblings of her having that. So that was the biggest one, in my opinion. She also confirmed that she did cheat on Justin with Wade Robson, which everyone knew. Like, everyone knew that. But everyone also knew that Justin Timberlake cheated on Britney multiple times before. So, you know, they were young and in love. Like, what are you gonna do? That's kind of what happens sometimes. And also, like, world famous. I mean, it's inevitable. But she was the one that was shamed for it, you know, that's just how it goes. But yeah, it was kind of, I don't know, cool to see that she confirmed it. I don't know if cool is the right word. It was just very surreal, I guess. It was just really surreal to see her acknowledge that. And frankly, it was very surreal to see her acknowledge the legacy. Britney is just so humble, and I just feel like she doesn't, not that she doesn't get that she's the queen of pop, but I just feel like she doesn't want to acknowledge it for fear of seeming like she's bragging. But I will say there were multiple times in this book where she was acknowledging the legacy, and she was saying that she was proud of herself and that she was damn good at her job and everything that she did. And I was like, yes, Britney, like, please acknowledge the fact that you are one of the greatest living legends of all time. Like, yes, I need more of that. I was just so happy to see that. And overall, like, just general consensus on the book, it's great. Like, you should read it. If you don't know much about Britney, but you are just fascinated by your story, this is such an easy read. Like, just get into it and you'll be done within like 2 days. Like, I am not the brightest bulb in the box, and I read this book in literally 2 days flat. So y'all can read it in a shorter time. And obviously, if you love Britney, you have probably already read it. Now, I'm just gonna go off unhinged because I've had a few drinks and I just need to like discuss how literally her family is trash. I am just so sick of it. Like, I am just so sick of it. I knew ever since I started standing Britney back in 2011. I started like standing in 2011 during the Femme Fatale era, and I remember watching videos of her on the Femme Fatale tour, and I just remember thinking the spark was not there, the light behind her eyes was not there, and I knew that it was because of the conservatorship. I knew it. Like, I always knew that. And I'm not trying to be like braggy or anything. Like, I'm not saying like, oh my god, look at me, I knew all the time. No, I'm just saying like, I seriously knew it. Like, I just saw it in her eyes that she was robotic. She didn't have the fire. She didn't have the passion. If you watch the Dream Within the Dream tour, like, that is Britney being Britney. Or if you watch the ABC In the Zone special, like, or just really anything from like earlier on in her career, like pre-2008, you just see the spark, you see the passion, and that was lost for so long. And I just have to say, to everybody that broke her spirit, to everybody that, like she said in the book, made her regress to be more childlike and feel like she was lesser than, everybody that did that, listen, I don't wish ill on people, but I don't wish you well. That is all that I'm saying. I do not wish you well. I don't wish you ill, but I don't wish you well. And that especially goes for her father. Her father, like, actually should be ashamed of himself. I don't want to, like, give any spoilers or anything. I guess I have, you know, it's spoilers. He called her a disgrace. He kept calling her fat. I mean, we kind of knew this before, but, like, he just did so much mental damage to her, and it's so disgusting. Imagine your daughter is Britney Spears, the greatest living legend, and you are disappointed in her and you want to break her spirit. The crazy thing is, if they had treated her kindly, if her mother had stuck up for her, if her sister had stuck up for her, her brother and her father, if they had all just let her be, like she says in Britney, let me be, then she would have thrived, and she probably would have made more money for them because she would have been a creative genius and her spark wouldn't have been torn out, and she would have done so much more and probably would have made them more money. Like, frankly, the fact that they put her in a conservatorship kind of stunted her because, listen, if y'all are Britney stans, y'all remember, like, those were dark days. Like, the merchandise, the Piece of Me Vegas residency. Listen, she put on a great show every night. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying the show itself was a little subpar. I mean, let's just call it how it is right now. The costuming was not that great. The set design was just not good. And it just wasn't up to Britney's standards. They just botched her career so much. And the fact that she has such a legacy still is crazy because they really tried their damnedest to make sure that her star was smothered out. They really, really did try their best. To me, the best comparison that I could think of as to how to keep a legacy up is Beyonce. Beyonce has been around for even longer than Britney because she was with Destiny's Child, obviously. But she has been around for so long, and she is still as relevant today as she was in the 90s, the 2000s. Frankly, like, some people would say she's more relevant. I mean, she just had, like, the highest grossing tour, like, of the year, just one of the highest grossing tours of all time. So it's like, that is how you do a legacy. That is how you respect your career. And Britney's team, they don't respect her career. They didn't respect her career. And I am just so sick of it. Like, I know that I'm, like, going off. I'm not even really talking about the book anymore, but I just needed to get this off my chest. Again, I've had a few drinks, so I'm on one right now. I just really, really am just so happy that she got this out. Like, I am just very happy that she was able to write this, and I feel like now she's gonna be a little bit more able to find peace, because I just feel like writing actually is very therapeutic. Like, I write sometimes to just, like, get my thoughts out, and that's what she did. And she, you know, just casually dropped the highest grossing celebrity memoir of all time. You know, casual, just a casual thing that the legendary Miss Britney Spears did. I am just so proud of her. I am seriously so proud of her. And also, I have to say, like, I really did connect with Britney on, like, a soul level during multiple parts of this book. I really loved when she talked about having social anxiety, because I have that, but to a lesser degree. I don't think I have it nearly as bad as her, but, you know, I struggle with that too, so it's really nice to see somebody as huge and as glamorous as Britney Spears can, you know, struggle with something like that. Like, you would think that she would walk in the room and have this amazing confidence and be like, yeah, I'm here. But no, she discusses how she doesn't feel that confidence. She doesn't feel like she should be braggadocious, and how she still calls people sir or ma'am. Like, I thought that was adorable. Like, she is still that sweet Southern belle. Like, that is the thing. No one has a bad thing to say about Britney, because she is still that, like, sweet little Southern girl. And I think that's so endearing. And also, I really related to her when she was saying she has had to put a guard up around her heart. She needs to have a tough exterior, but on the inside, she wants to be vulnerable. She doesn't want to have to be tough. And I felt that so much. Like, I really, really felt that. Like, I feel the same way pretty much every single day. Like, I don't want to have to have walls up, but I do it as basically a protection, as a coping mechanism, because, you know, maybe I don't trust, like, people around me, and obviously she doesn't. So I really just, like, felt that for her, and I felt that on a soul level. I also love when she talks about her connection with the fans, especially when she was getting into the whole Free Britney thing, and that whole entire chapter, or like that section of that chapter, when she was saying that how her fans could feel that she was in danger, that they could sense that something was wrong, and that she felt it with them. Like, that part really, really got me bawling the most, because it was true. Like, it seriously was true. I know it sounds crazy. I don't care that it sounds crazy. I really, really always felt that there was just something going wrong with her, and I felt that energy. I live in literally the exact opposite coast of her, and I felt it. I could see it through my computer screen, essentially, and it just always rubbed me the wrong way, the situation that she was in. And the worst thing that they ever did to her, obviously, was putting her in that facility where she was on lithium. They made her lethargic. She couldn't even change without having the door open. And it's just crazy. Like, it's just crazy. I am so sorry. Like, I'm just going off right now, but I just need to get this off my chest. Like, seriously, I've been thinking this for years, and it is now in written form, and we have the full, complete package. So, again, like I've said, if it's not obvious by now, read the book. Like, just read the book. You will not regret it. If you love Britney, you have to read it. I'm assuming you've already read it. If you're new to Britney, if you want to get into her, if you're curious about her, yeah, I'm so curious reference, but if you're curious about her, definitely get into this. Again, like I said before, I do selfishly wish that maybe she delved into the music a little bit more, and maybe some of the more obscure stuff. I kind of wish that she talked about Original Doll, like the Lost album, and the whole Mona Lisa saga. Like, yeah, okay, sure, I wish that maybe some more, like, deep cut stuff was discussed, but that's not what this book was for. Again, that is not what this book was for. This book was her getting her truth out, and she did, and I am so incredibly proud of her. I am just so, like, I'm welling up with tears right now. I am literally just so proud of her. I just love her so much. But that was The Woman in Me. Get into it. And I am so sorry for this rambly video, but I just really want to get my thoughts out. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see you next time.